Zhao, the Chinese Cinderella, or the woman who took a stand by sitting on the throne of China. Wu Zhao was born on February 17th, 624, to a wealthy timber merchant and Lady Wu Zhao. Born to a family of wealthy timber merchants, she was able to learn a lot about government, music, and dance. Born in the Tang Dynasty and the rule of Taizong, where women were sort of feared, Wu Zhao's life was full of luxury until the age of 13 when her father died. She was chosen to be a concubine for the Emperor Taizong. If the emperor had favored you, you would have had a very high lifestyle, but Wu Zhao was chosen for a 5th level concubine. Her mother was very worried, so she started crying, but Wu calmly stated, "How do you not know that it is my fortune to gaze upon the Son of Heaven?" This ended up calming Wu's mother down a little bit, but of course her mothery nerves still kicked in. The emperor, who was 39 at the time, had taken power for approximately 11 years. Having 122 concubines already, Wu was labeled as a 5th level concubine, or clairvoyant, meaning talented. She was basically a chambermaid, changing sheets and attending toilets. There is no recording of the Emperor Taizong spending any time with Wu, and or having quality time with Wu. Because of this, she didn't bore him any children. And after his death, Wu was forced to become a Buddhist nun, because she did not bore him any sons. On the first anniversary of the emperor's death, Wu saw the Emperor Gaozong, Taizong's son. While she was serving Taizong still, she had an affair with him, which was pretty much bound to incest, due to the fact that she was technically his stepmother. It didn't really matter much to Gaozong. He loved Wu, and he was very delighted to see her. In fact, so delighted that he decided to take Wu away from being a Buddhist nun and turn him back into a concubine. But this time, it was a 2nd level concubine. When Wu arrived back at the palace, 2 rivals had also found out about Wu. Empress Wang and Consort Zhao. They both hated one another, but decided to team up and take down Wu. Wu ended up boring the Empress 6 sons, her first son being Li Hong. And when the Empress Wang heard about the baby, she was not happy. She ended up adopting a lower concubine's son, and the emperor was not pleased due to the fact that the Empress Wang had not borne him any children. Meanwhile, Wu would end up giving birth to 5 other children, 2 daughters and 2 other sons. One daughter by the name of Princess C of Aiding, who didn't even make it to a year. Results are sketchy, but some say that the Empress Wang killed her due to the fact of jealousy, and Wu had so many other children with the emperor. Others say that Wu ended up killing this daughter for personal gain. Other results show that Princess Aiding might have also died of cradle death and or SID, or SIDS, sudden infant death syndrome. Emperor Gaozong didn't really do anything to punish Empress Wang and Consort Zhao, but later on, the Empress Wang would have been charged with witchcraft due to the fact that they had found a voodoo doll with Wu Zhenqian's name and also her birth date. Wu ended up deciding the punishment for Empress Wang and Consort Zhao. She had them both thrown into a vat of wine with their arms and legs chopped off. It is recorded that she might have said something along the lines of, "Now you can get drunk on your own pride." Finally, Wu Zhao had become Empress Wu. Although a lot of court officials didn't really agree with Emperor Gaozong's decision, due to the fact that she was a concubine for the previous emperor. But with Emperor Gaozong's failing health, because of him suffering from possible epilepsy, because he was having seizures and lightheadedness, and also ended up losing the ability to walk in his later years, Wu had taken up court official rules, or she had sat behind an iron curtain where she would pronounce and or exclaim her decisions, while the other advisors would, of course, make the laws. On December 16th, 690, after kicking off her first son, banishing the second, and talking for the third, due to the fact that she was saying that he had a speech impediment, Empress Wu Zetian had become Emperor Wu Zhao. With the teachings of Confucius, people were very not much happy with her rule. Many people were thinking about overthrowing Wu, but luckily she had made a secret police force, silencing anybody who would thought to charge her or start uprising or rebellion. She issued a government reform that kicked out many high-ranking families from the courts, also expanded the exam to become an official. Instead of having higher families and or just being of high birth, you would have had to take a test. And if you were illiterate, they would have had a court official read it to you. She had also created a ballot box, a suggestion box, which if you had anything you'd like to suggest or write down and comment to the emperor, you could have written it down. Or if you were illiterate, you could have had an official nearby write it for you as well. She also reopened the Silk Road, a trade route starting from Chang'an, going to Iran, Arabia, India, and South Asia. After realizing that her life was coming to an end, she had a golden tablet made and had it cast down a mountain as a symbol. It was found by a farmer in 1982. Here's what it said. The ruler Wu Zhao admires the Tao with its long-lived immortal spirits. Her servant has been commissioned to go reverently to the pinnacle of central peak of Mount Song and cast the golden tally, that it might expiate her sinful nature. After her death on September 16th, 705, she is buried with her husband, Emperor Gaozong. When it happened, there was another political reform. Her older son, Li Hong, was back on the throne. He later ended up dying due to the fact that his wife ended up feeding him a poisoned cake. But before his death, there was a political reform. Women were kicked out of the courts, and Wu's faithful servant, Shungan Wonar, whose tomb was destroyed. Her mausoleum, called Qinglang, was left blank because she wanted other people to write down her accomplishments. But her family was so distraught and or scared of what she had done, they had decided to leave it blank, making Wu's history to be determined by others. To some, she was written down as a demon who ended up ruining China, but in reality, she stimulated the economy, supported the arts, and connected with her people with Buddhism, a religion that she had grown up with and also had learned when she was, of course, a nut. With Wu's prosperity, it also came to a lot of ambassadors also coming to China. And with a lot of people immigrating to Chang'an, it became the first cosmopolitan city, with a population of 1 million. To wrap this up, Wu Shinchan, or Wu Xiao, was a woman who took a stand by sitting down on the throne of China. She strengthened the government by reforming it and adding a lady's touch. She reopened the Silk Road that helped the economy, and also created a giant trade route and a cosmopolitan city. She had helped the lower class, and was called a golden ruler by some, and to others a demon. In the 1950s, her story was recovered after a gravestone was found, calling and retelling Wu's story.
What would today's experts now carve upon the stone?
I would write something along the lines of, she was a woman who did what she had to stay in power. She was a great leader. She had a lot of political acumen. But most of all, I'd say she was the woman that proved that in a man's world, you didn't need a man to lead it.
The one word that I would put is just maverick, because of the way that she went about gaining power.
I'd write nothing. For her entire idiosyncratic, unprecedented political career defied labels, and for 1,300 years she's defied historical verdicts. I think that the blankness of the stele is a